What things did your parents instill into you, and did you have siblings as well?
I did. I'd have one younger brother left. I had a younger brother that died due to drug abuse. So that is definitely something that I carry with me around.
Yeah.
That drives me, motivates me each and every day to make sure that other families will go through the trauma that we had in our family due to illegal drugs. So I got a bachelor's from St. Thomas and a master from the Naval Postgraduate School.
Did you like school? You didn't like school?
I did not like school, man.
So it was discipline, or was it? I feel like a lot of American immigrants, it's like for your family that you'll go and you have this traditional household, like you're going to go get an education. Do you think it was something like you were trying to please your dad and mom?
Man, I think that at the time I just didn't see the value of it. Professional, man. He's a professional. He's ready to go.
This is my favorite studio. So we're live. So we got another episode. Probably this has got to be. I probably say this for every episode. Every podcaster says this is my favorite episode of the year. Then all the guests, I can't imagine they're walking like, thought my episode was the favorite, but this has to be top 3 that I've done so far this year to close out 2025. I can't thank you, Chief Manny Morales, Miami Police Department. Thank you again for making time. End of the year. How's your day going?
Oh, fantastic, man. Thank you very much for having us here, man. Love to go out here and have a good discussion of all the great things that the men and women of the Miami Police Department are doing for our community.
I moved here from Chicago, and I would not leave my house, like my place in Chicago, because I was like, you can't have a gun in Chicago. It's like the civilians can't have a gun. Like the good people, the people that are obeying the law can't have a gun, and you're just worried, like what's going to happen out there. Miami, I feel like I could just be out 24/7 and not worry about anything.
Man, it wasn't always like that, I can tell you, man. It's been through a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and hard work to get us where we are now, to one of the safest cities in America.
It says you joined the Miami Police Department in 1994. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then 4 years prior to that, you were U.S. Army service?
That's right.
Right?
Military police.
Okay, so you're military police. So
yeah, serving the community in one way or another has always been in my blood.
Where were you born and raised?
So I was born, I tell people I was made in Puerto Rico with Cuban parts.
I was going to say, I hear some Cuban in there.
Yeah, okay. So all my family's Cuban, born in Puerto Rico. I was raised in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And then in the early 80s, we moved to Miami, and this was home ever since.
Around what age did you know you were going to go to the military, and you had like this desire to protect and serve?
So I knew I wanted to be a cop for as long as I can remember. And graduated high school, I was 17 years old. You couldn't be a cop till you're 19. So I'm figuring, hey, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Not into school, but we'll talk about higher education later.
Yeah.
And the values of it. But decided to join the Army, be a military police. I thought it was the next best thing. Did some time. It was nothing like being a cop in the city of Miami, but at least I got some good experience. Was able to be deployed to several overseas conflicts, most notable Just Cause in Panama. We took down General Manuel Noriega, and Desert Storm back, the first one into Saudi Arabia. So I got a little experience under my belt, and then I came back home to serve my community.
Yeah. Thank you for your service as well.
I appreciate that. Thank you for your support.
I always like to kind of dissect the guest on like what was growing up for you like. You know what I mean? So you're born and raised Puerto Rico. You have Cuban nationality as well. What things did your parents instill into you, and did you have siblings as well?
I did. I'd have one younger brother left. I had a younger brother that died due to drug abuse. So that is definitely something that I carry with me around.
Yeah.
That drives me, motivates me each and every day to make sure that other families will go through the trauma that we had in our family due to illegal drugs. So, but man, I had a great upbringing. Very religious family. I went to private school. I think I'm incredibly privileged to have had such a loving, stable home. Even though my parents divorced when I was about 13, shortly after getting here to Miami, and my fathers remained very close, very much in the picture. And it kind of seemed awkward sometimes because they were divorced, but they were together all the time. So stability was a key to our upbringing. And listen, they instilled the values of hard work, education, and service.
Love that. Now, it says you rose through the ranks. You went from patrolman all the way to chief. And so somebody watching this that doesn't understand, how the police force works, there was multiple ranks that I read here where you go from patrolman, detective, lieutenant to assistant chief, and then you were interim chief to chief. Correct. If you were to paraphrase your career, if somebody aspires to get into the police force and be a chief in their local police force one day, what all did you do so they could copy and kind of paste that into their life? Man,
listen, never in my wildest dreams did I ever think back in 1994 when I went to the police academy that I would be chief, that I would be in this position right now.
Yeah.
It kind of developed later on, but everybody starts at the same spot, right? If you're new to law enforcement, you're going to go to the academy, you're going to be a police officer. There you have the ability to be a detective, which is a similar civil service rank or guaranteed rank. And then you test. You test for sergeant, you test for lieutenant. Once you achieve each rank, you can go into the investigative services or administration. You can do patrolling, you can do investigations, or you can do administration. But you're all the same rank. A lieutenant in patrol has the same authority as a lieutenant in investigations. No one kind of trumps the other in our organization. And then captain, you test for that rank as well. And then right there, you're at the mercy of the leadership, of the chiefs of the department, because as chief of police, I have the ability to promote folks into the next ranks, which are the sergeant at arms that take care of our elected officials, the executive officers that are like my right-hand folks that keep me on track all the time when I need to go and where I need to be at what time. And then from there on, we're talking about commanders, majors, assistant chiefs, and then ultimately chief of police.
I read in one of the articles or things I was doing research on that you have 1,800 people roughly that you're responsible for, just in your police force, not including the community that you're overseeing as well.
Absolutely. So there is 1,800 men and women that proudly serve the citizens of Miami. Out of that, 1,400 are sworn, and another 400 are professional staff, support staff, our administrative personnel, our trainers, our counselors, and we're growing. So the commission has approved another 100, so we'll be 1,500 sworn by the end of this year, and hopefully we'll continue to grow. I think Miami absolutely has room to have more police officers to get a lot of the things accomplished that we haven't been able to do yet.
There's two things I want to get into. The first thing is how are you, obviously you've developed over the years great leadership skills, delegation skills, so I can see that, but how? How are you managing 1,800 people? And is there 100 leaders? Are there 100 executive officers? And everybody's got a group of 80 individuals they're responsible for?
So we're an incredibly paramilitary-like organization. We have that rank structure.
Yeah.
And we have that chain of command and that authority, right? So when you kind of break it down, all those 1,500 men and women work for somebody.
Correct.
And that supervisor has no more than 7 to 9 officers. That's a span of control that is manageable. When you're in charge of 7 direct people, that's what you can control.
Yeah.
Right? So as you go, that basically the organization goes. Every supervisor has. So if you're a sergeant, you have 7 to 9 cops that work for you. And you're responsible for the day-to-day. If you're a lieutenant, you have 4 to 5 sergeants that work for you. And you got to keep an eye on the sergeant. The sergeant, in turn, keeps an eye on the officers, and so on and so forth. So when I get here, I do concern myself, but I don't get directly involved a lot of the times with the patrol officer.
Yeah.
Right? Because that goes from me to the assistant chief, to the major, to the commander, to the captain, lieutenant, sergeant, and then it goes to the officer. Yeah. I have a great relationship with my officers. Like I saw, and we just left a community event, and we have, a great relationship professional-wise. But as far as giving orders, you really can't concern yourself. You can't manage 1,900 individuals when you're counting the professional staff.
I want to take a second. I should have done it in the beginning, but I want to thank Mayor Suarez for setting this up and everything that he's done for the community as well. So we've become good friends.
Absolutely, he's a great guy. Got an incredible relationship with Mayor Suarez, and he will be missed. I know it's time for a new chapter in the city of Miami, which we're very excited about. Mayor-elect Higgins, I think, is going to do great things for the city as well.
And I know that all the elections and everything just happened just this past night, correct?
Yes.
It was just a day ago. I wanted to give my condolences. When I first started to set this up with you, I remember reading in the news a couple of weeks ago a young officer had passed away in a altercation or something, a traffic accident. So I wanted to give my condolences to the family. So
we had a very turbulent end of year. for law enforcement here in South Florida. A lot of folks kind of not very familiar, and I think that's a good thing that they're not familiar with the structure of policing in the area. And just to give you a quick idea, Miami-Dade County, 2,000 square miles, about 3 million residents. The Sheriff Rosie Cordero Stutz, have a great working relationship with her. She's in charge of all the parts in the county that are not an actual city.
Yeah.
Then out of those, we have 37 cities independent from the county that work as their own entity. And out of those 37, 34 have their own police department. So there's 34 police chiefs in Miami-Dade County. We are the largest one aside from the Sheriff's Department. And we all work independent, but very closely knit together.
Yeah.
And the officer that you're talking about is Officer Cajuso, motor officer for our partners and our law enforcement friends on Miami Beach. And then shortly thereafter, Jaramillo from the county. He started as a police officer with Coral Gables and then went into following his father's footsteps into the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office. An incredible blow. Two stellar, bright lights of law enforcement that deeply care about their community, that leave very young families behind.
Yeah.
So it is a painful reminder of the potential sacrifice that, to me, I ask each and every day when the officers go out on the streets. I tell them all the time, I say, I'm cognizant that I'm the one that asks you, demands and holds you accountable for going out there and putting your life on the line each and every day.
In comparison to other communities, from research and things that I've seen, it seems Miami specifically has one of the lowest crime rates and gun rates, not to take away from these individuals that lose their lives, whether it's, officers or civilians from crimes. But it does seem like you guys have some of the lowest crime rates. Now, you've been in the police department for almost 30 years. There's been evolution of that. What do you think contributes to that, and what are some crazy things for people to compare to? Back in the 90s, I think of the only thing I can think of with Miami is Scarface, when it would have been, maybe it was like that.
Say hello to my little friend. That's what you remember. Yeah. Good. Well, and listen, and Miami in the 80s was a wild place, man.
Yeah.
I remember growing up here and going to Coconut Grove and hearing all the crazy stories. But even in the 90s, it was still kind of weird.
Yeah.
It was still shootings every other day. I started the department here in Midnights in Liberty City, Little Haiti. And I can tell you, gang activity back then was hot and heavy.
Yeah.
And the shootings and the way that those criminal elements would terrorize our community was, shameful.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of hard work. It's focusing on the right folks. It's a lot of trial and error sometimes, kind of finding out what works in policing. Criminals are incredibly inventive, man, so they'll figure out a way to kind of, avoid law enforcement. But, man, leveraging technology, bringing in, making sure that the officers understand, hey, man, it's not us versus them, not us versus them in the community. It should be us, the police and the community together versus the criminals.
Yeah.
And I think that slowly but surely we've been able to kind of change the culture in the police department, that they understand we're more service-oriented. Most cops have more community contacts than arrest at the end of the month. The vast majority of the calls that you go to require no enforcement action. We sit there, we mediate, we guide you into what you need to do to solve the issue, whether it's doing the accident report or an incident report. And those far and few occasions that we make contacts with folks that we have to take them to jail, then we try to handle that as professional, with compassion and remembering that, listen, you might have committed a crime, but you're still a human being.
Yeah.
You need to be treated with decency and compassion. So,
how do you guys handle the Brickell speed racers in the middle of the night?
That is one of the big things. So I feel fortunate that we've been able to have such a deep impact on reducing our violent crime, that right now those quality of life issues are in the forefront.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about traffic, noise pollution, and homelessness, those are my top three concerns right now, which is a vast difference from when I took over 4 years ago, right? When it was the shootings, the murders, the robberies. So I think that's progress unto itself.
Yeah.
But that's a challenge, man. Because everybody wants to solve now, but you're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah.
So if it happens and you take no action because our policy prohibits us to chase non-violent offenders, right? Then people are of the impression that you don't care, that you don't want to do anything, that this is a lawless town. And if you do something and you chase them and they get hurt or they run off the road and they they hit an innocent bystander. They're like, oh my God, they should have never chased him. So that is kind of like a little bit of the reality of every day in policing in Miami.
Now it says here, you touched on education before, but it says here you have a degree from, is it St. Thomas University?
I got a bachelor's from St. Thomas and a master from the Naval Postgraduate School.
Did you like school? You didn't like school?
I did not like school, man.
So it was discipline, or was it? I feel like a lot of American immigrants, it's like for your family that you'll go and you have this traditional household, like you're going to go get an education. Yeah. Do you think it was something like you were trying to please your dad and mom?
Man, I think that at the time I just didn't see the value of it.
Yeah.
Right. And in our society, you when you get to a certain level, you got to have a piece of paper on the wall.
Yeah.
Just to kind of let other folks know, and that I've taken the time, I've gone through the steps to receive the information that might help everybody else.
Yeah.
Right. And just kind of, man, it is an absolute badge of honor now looking back at it. Right.
Yeah.
But I got a late start. I didn't graduate high school, went into the Army, and instead of taking advantage like all these other folks that I saw that were getting a free education while in the armed services, I bypassed all that, and man, many years into the police department. I think I didn't get my bachelor's till 2008. So I was already 14 years in the police department before I even started kind of climbing the ranks. And at that point, I had already taken a couple of promotional tests. I was a lieutenant, eligible to be on the executive staff as a commander, and that was a prerequisite. In order to be in the executive staff, even now, you need higher education degree. Bare minimum a bachelor, but the vast majority of the folks on my executive staff have a master. Yeah. Some of them a PhD.
Wow. Now it says here you're named Law Enforcement Leader of the Year in just this year. Mm-hmm. So is that out of all like police departments across the U.S.? Is that a national award?
So that is a national award that was given to me by the Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association.
Wow.
So they go out throughout the country and they kind of take a look at the performance, and their executive board gets together and they select the leader each year. But I think that was not the most incredible thing. I think one of the most incredible things in that particular award is that one of my officers got selected as Task Officer of the Year. There's a lot of chiefs. There's a lot more task officers that work directly with the federal government. And one of our guys, detective, we'll leave his name out because he works a lot of undercover jobs. Yeah. But the guy's received more accolades this year than I can remember any cop in history. So I can tell the people of Miami that the quality of cops that they have working for them right now, it's second to none.
You guys' to add on to that, your guys' standards are different. This is the only city that I've lived in, and I've lived in quite a few places, where it'll be a random sunny day and I'll walk outside and you guys will have like an academy of guys just running, working out and chanting. Like, it's like I'm watching the Marines. And I'm like, and I look and I'm like, that says police. And I was like, this is, and I imagine these guys are in training, or are they already sworn in?
No, they're in training. They're recruits at the time when you see them in the academy. One of the things that we change and listen, it's a daily struggle to kind of have this profession. It's hard on the body. It's hard on the mind. The shifts change. Your body's really not getting used to it, especially if you're working midnights or the late hours. But I made it a priority to kind of bring back that physical fitness into it, man. Not only for myself, I saw myself kind of having some hardships, maintaining my motivation, my weight, my energy levels. So one of the things that I did for the department was kind of re-implement a lot of officer wellness and morale. That became one of our 3 pillars. Yeah. Reducing gun violence, restoring community trust, and improving officer health and wellness. And that includes both mind, body, and soul. That's what you're seeing out there.
It's incredible. And to add on to the thing that you guys are doing well is I see you guys, I've trained jiu-jitsu for 4 or 5 years, and then a little bit of Muay Thai here now over the last year, and I see you guys come in to boxer. So the fact that you prioritize your police officers being able to physically manage and handle individuals, because over the last couple of years, unfortunately, and maybe it's been longer, there's been a lot of backlash to our police officers. At one point, you saw politically there was defund the police, which I thought was the most asinine thing that I've ever heard of. But to see you guys prioritizing your police this way, so now if there's some type of crazy event or something, they know how to physically manage the body without having to fire the gun or something like that. It's for me, I think there's nothing better than our police officers because there's no other line of defense between the criminals and a civilian like myself. You know what I mean? Like, so to see you guys doing that, it's incredible.
Yeah, I think that a lot of folks have a negative connotation when it comes to the thin blue line. You heard of it?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of folks are like, no, it's us versus them. And I go, no, I think the thin blue line is just a representation of what we stand for. It's
Correct.
not that we're separating us versus them. It's that we're separating chaos from civility.
Correct.
Right? Without the police, there'll be chaos.
Yeah.
Right? You need someone there to hold people accountable, and that's what we do. Right?
Yeah.
We're not here to punish people. We're not here to be anybody's parents. We're just here to show people that there's accountability for your actions. That if you choose to go down the wrong path, something's going to happen. And I can go back and tell you what you said about the defund the police. We never saw that in Miami.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you guys probably saw that.
We did have some civil disturbances, man, some protests, which we welcome. We welcome folks to respectfully exercise their First Amendment rights and not to encroach on somebody else's rights.
Correct.
By blocking traffic or doing illegal activities. But the Miami police, it is loved by our community.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that amazes me the most. I'll go and I'll meet with other major city chiefs, and they'll tell us, man, we have a hard time. A lot of the community doesn't trust us, especially in the areas that need us the most. And I'm like, man, it's been a lot of hard work in Miami. And, you can't only do it by talking the talk. You got to walk the walk.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing for many years. And hence, we're in a place where the community loves us.
I've said, and I'm not just saying this because you're on here, I've said for a while, I think they should put more money instead of defund. I think they should almost overfund the police and have higher standards, higher qualifications, do more training and have more money and resources so you can have guys doing like what you're putting your guys through. It's like, we're going to have the physical, then we're going to have, I imagine you guys are very combative as well, where you do, gun work and things like that. So it's like the more trained somebody is, I have experience in fighting, you know what I mean? Like the more prepared and trained I'm in, the more calm I am.
Yep.
And I don't think there's probably anything stronger than a calm mind when chaos is ensuing.
Yeah, like confidence. That's why you train like you fight.
Yeah.
Right? So the time that you find yourself in a real scenario is not the first time that your mind has gone through it.
Correct.
Might be like a training scenario that you did before, but at least okay, I know the basic fundamental steps that I need to take.
Yeah.
So that's incredibly important, but we do put a very strong emphasis on the sanctity of life. We know the huge responsibility that lies on the shoulders of law enforcement in the United States, man. Think about this. Out of our entire society, any profession that you think about it, we're the only ones that have the lawful authority to take someone's life.
Yeah.
To take someone's freedom from them and put them in jail, man. That is huge. When I sit down and I talk to the guys in the academy, I go, man, each and every day, you have to be aware, not to be corny or sound like, superhero, but great power and authority comes great responsibility, man. You're going to be held accountable. So if you think you can go out there and wield the authority that has been placed by the trust and that oath that you took, promising the citizens of Miami that you're going to do the right thing, you got to know this thing coming to you.
It's only going to continue to get better, I think. What are the priorities, though, that you think will take it to the next level that you guys are working on? I know the homelessness is one of the top priorities for you. What are some other things you guys are working on?
So on top of all the stuff that we mentioned, I think it comes from within, right? As long as we have a good relationship with the community, we need to figure out how to get more investigative excellence. And right now, the reason that we've been incredibly successful is because we approach every investigation, every case, as if we're getting that case ready to go to court.
Yeah.
Whether we've already have a clue who the offender is or not, it's easy to get enough facts and circumstances to put someone in jail. It's a complete different ballgame to take it in front of a jury of your peers, in front of a judge, and get enough evidence in there to hold someone accountable to get incarcerated.
Yeah.
So I think that's how we approach it from the very beginning. Our investigators know, hey, you're going to be judged on how that case is prosecuted, not if we find the guy. So a clearance rate, meaning that we found the offender that might have robbed you, it's not the same as convicting that robber once he gets to court.
Yeah.
So we got to heighten. That's an area that we still got a little bit of room to improve on. And professional development, man. We have great leaders within the department, but now is the time to start getting the next generation ready.
Yeah.
And some of the folks have asked, I said, hey, why are you expanding the police department? If you're doing so great, if crime rates are the lowest they've ever been in the history of Miami, in the 129-year history of Miami, why do you need more cops?
Yeah.
Because by the time I hire a cop today, they're no good to us until 13 months after. So I have to be ahead of the curve.
There's a gap, yeah.
They have to be ahead of the curve, getting these guys ready and being able to give the other folks a chance to develop the leadership skills so they can guide the department and the future of our city in the right direction.
Do police see Miami across the nation and they try to, is there like a request to transfer? Like if I'm a police officer in Chicago, I can't be like, inquire Morales and be like, hey, can I move there and be a police for you?
No, that's not very common. We get a handful of folks.
Yeah.
But the bulk of our recruits come within our South Florida community.
Wow.
Right. So it is just completely separate entities. So you can't just say, hey, I'm going to transfer to this place and keep your, no, you would have to resign and then get hired. You can only be, your certification as a police officer can only be attached to one agency at a time. So you have to quit one spot to earn the other one. Now we've seen it and we've had folks come from other places, New York, Chicago, but that's a rarity. The bulk is right here. Other cities are different.
Yeah.
Other cities struggle to recruit locally and they're very successful recruiting in outside the jurisdiction. But we found that the formula is, man, there's plenty of good folks here in Miami that want to do the right thing, that, know their community and want to serve in their community.
Would one of the prerequisites to be an officer for you, do guys need to be bilingual?
It's not a requirement, but it certainly helps, man. When just about 80% of your city is of Latin descent, man, it does not hurt.
Yes.
I tell my wife, I recently got married for the last time, and I mean, the most recent and the last time.
Yes.
I mean, you learn your lesson slowly, but she is from St. Louis.
Okay.
Doesn't speak Spanish. And I tell her, hey, man, now you're here in Miami, you got to learn. And she's like, un poquito español.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah. That's me. Congrats on your
Thank you.
marriage.
Thank you very much.
I just got engaged.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you very much. I went over to Israel and we did the engagement over there.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Israel, man.
Yeah.
It's like nothing. People imagine, well, at least I did. I imagined something else. Like a dusty desert.
Same.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
it's
it was
awesome.
my first
I
time
love Tel Aviv.
there.
I love Jerusalem, the history.
Yeah.
Man, I think it's just whether you're a deeply religious person or not, I think there's a spirituality that comes with being in that cradle of all the three major religions.
Yeah. So I got to go to the Holy Church. The Holy, is it Psalter? The church.
The sculpture, where you see the stone and the crucifix.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's pretty powerful.
My fiance, she was in the army, the Israeli army. So she was IDF, active combat.
Thank her
and
for her
everything.
service.
Yeah. You know what's embarrassing is when we go to the shooting range.
She's better.
10 times better, bro. It's not even like better. It's like disturbing how good she is.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. My gun jammed once. She had to come over and help me. We had to leave. I was like, all right, we're done. You emasculated me in front of these people.
Yeah, you know what the good thing is, man, is practice makes you better. So
yes.
Stick with it, and maybe you'll never get to her level, but at least you'll stay close.
She's a sniper. I'm like, how is this? Everything is in here, and like mine are all over. So.
Listen, I think we all have that to one extent or another. My wife was a Division I volleyball player, and every time we go work out, I'm like, you're a freak.
Yeah,
I can't even keep up. So I'm in the boat, man. And no matter how much I train, she's always going to surpass me. So
I love it. As we start to wrap up here, I want to talk on, one thing I've heard policemen and policewomen say is, like you said, it isn't the physical as much as sometimes it's the mental. When guys and girls see things and experience things that are just things typical human, just doesn't see, maybe even in their lifetime. Is there like a therapist or a rehabilitation, like when someone sees something super horrible?
So I tell the folks in the academy, when they're coming in, and I tell their families more importantly. As I said, man, the men and women of the Miami Police Department will see things and hear things that no human being should be exposed to, even once.
Yeah.
Worst is the fact that they are going to see this repeatedly throughout their career. There is a study, research has been done that says that a cop in a major city like Miami will develop more traumatic incidents and damage than an individual who served 2 tours in a combat zone in the armed forces, right? And I believe it. So one of the things that I did, and being that that's one of my pillars, I instituted on-duty workouts, right? So even patrol officers are able to take an hour of their shift to work out, right? Because we know that working out relieves stress.
Correct.
And it calms the mind, and it gives you that confidence of body. But another thing that I was very important, and it was a struggle at the beginning to try to find the funds, was I made it mandatory that every police officer, every dispatcher, every crime scene and public service aide goes through a wellness session with a therapist. I do therapy all the time.
Yeah.
Started back in my previous marriage, trying to do counseling because this profession was tough on your personal life. And I developed, a strong affinity for, the value of therapy. When you have a third-party person that has absolutely no vested interest only than your well-being, I think you get a lot of great feedback, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like you walk in there and they tell you, hey, this is what you need to do. They'll help you solve through your issues.
Yeah.
So I made it mandatory. Every officer goes for a 30-minute checkup, and you're available to go anytime that you want.
Yeah.
You can be on duty and you can tell your sergeant, hey, Sarge, I just need to go talk to somebody. No questions asked. We don't need to know. I don't get the information, and it's kind of paid dividends with the department. I can see how folks are a little bit more comfortable talking about mental issues and health issues in the department and how important they are to our mission here, right? Because I can come up with all the plans, all the strategies and everything, but if I don't have the boots on the ground, buy in and execute that plan, we're gonna fail.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for the support, the embrace of the support we offer our troops. That's accepted in the way that it has, and it's making a difference.
I got two more questions. One, do you sleep normally, or you keep the radio by you, and it's like if that thing goes off, it's like, 3 a.m., I need to address this.
The radio's always by me, but I think the worst is the phone, man, the smartphones and getting you in there. And listen, I'd rather be disturbed in the middle of the night and be able to deal with a situation than have to deal with, an even larger chaotic fire in the morning just because you put it off for a little bit.
Yeah.
I have to tell you that you do have to rely on the folks that work for you, man.
Yeah.
It's your trust, and you talked about delegation, so I trust my folks. There's very few instances now where I have to be woken up.
Yeah.
So this year's been about 3 or 4 times where they call me in the middle of the night. My brain's still clicking. I'm always working. I'm always responding to emails and always come up with plans. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I keep my notebook next to, and I kind of write some facts up, some things that I think we can do better, initiatives that we can carry out. But it's stressful, man.
Yeah.
I'm not a sound sleeper, man. I've always been a light sleeper.
Again, you probably get hundreds of thousands of cases monthly, but I saw something going viral in Miami, and I hope nobody was hurt. But somebody had broken into this lady's house. I think she was a Cuban, younger lady or something, and was trying to rob her husband. And there's just a video of her just shooting back and fending back getting the robbers out of there. Did you guys see that video or that case? You know what I'm talking about?
I can tell you that recently that has not been in the city of Miami.
Okay.
But
I don't know.
Listen, your home is your sanctuary.
Yeah.
And if you got to protect your sanctuary, you
I
got to do what you got to do.
I love Florida. I think is it open carry for all of Florida?
So Florida is actually open carry.
Yeah.
Except in restricted spots, government buildings, schools.
Yeah, correct.
But it's also a permitless concealed carry. So as long as you don't have a criminal record, you're over 18, you don't have a restraining order, you don't have a red flag order, you haven't been diagnosed with a mental illness, or you're not addicted to any type of illegal narcotics, you're able to carry concealed as well as open.
And this will actually be the last question. Miami, I would imagine, has, out of all of the places that can compare to gun crime, I imagine we have to be one of the lowest out of all the other major cities.
You'd be amazed how safe Florida is as a whole.
Yeah, I was going to say, we got to be one of the lowest states.
Tampa, Orlando have a great relationship with Chief Burka in Tampa, Chief Smith in Orlando, and we've all been in service for a long time.
Yeah.
And listen, when we look at our crime rates, man, sometimes it's hard to believe. You're thinking, man, I cannot believe. And real quickly, I tell you that before, we used to average, we're a city, 500,000 folks.
Yeah.
We're not large geographically, only 40 square miles, but we're densely packed. And we used to average between 65 and 80 crimes a day. A bad day was 89, 88. Now we average between 30 and 40. On a good day, we'll do 22 Part 1 crimes. Now, still 13,756 victims of crime in the city have taken place this year. So that's way too much. My goal is to bring it down to 0.
Yeah.
Right. And we won't stop until we do it there. But to look at the numbers, I think our robberies are down right now, probably about 23% from last year, which is incredible. The only issue that I can kind of see right now is shoplifting.
Wow.
Right. And even though we're strictly tough on them, it's nowhere near what other jurisdictions face outside of Florida. but that's our Achilles heel, and it is because we continue to expand. So I'm comparing the 10 stores that we had last year to the 15 stores. So I'm not comparing apples to apples.
Yeah.
But violent crime down 46%. I think that person's shot, what we call contact and non-contact shootings, they're down like 68%.
Wow.
So gun violence here is one of the things that I told my guys. I said, every time that a gun is discharged within our city limits, we're going to investigate. So
you guys have like cameras
we
and
have
stuff
cameras,
everywhere.
we have gun detection systems, so I'm telling you, if you're an individual who thinks they're going to commit a crime in Miami and get away with it, I got news for you, man. Yeah. That ain't going to happen. My guys have an incredible rate of apprehending the offenders.
Yeah.
We'll get a call where 3 shots were fired. No witnesses, no 911 call. We'll respond because our gun detection system. And from there, we'll pick up the casings. We'll track down neighbors, all their cameras. There's a camera everywhere.
Wow.
And we'll be able to make an arrest, man. It's the things that we're doing now. If we would have been able to do those things in the 90s, it would have been vastly different.
And drugs don't seem like is it a big issue in Miami?
Man, we have reduced all the open drug markets, man. The sale on the corners, it's not acceptable. There's nothing that it was acceptable before, but it's something that's definitely not acceptable now.
Yeah.
And we go, and the rate that we actually conduct narcotic search warrants, where we go inside a location where criminals think they're safe and secure serving drugs from inside a location, man, all the time. Wow. All the time, man. We do some great things, man. Every week when I get the weekly report of like the highlights, the accomplishments of the department, I'm like, man,
yeah,
wow. These guys are definitely kicking butt, man.
That's great. All right, well, we're wrapped up. That was a great podcast. Is there anything that anybody watching this could do or give back to the Miami Police Department? Anything we can do to help out?
Man, absolutely. We're always looking for volunteers and help, man. We have an incredibly strong Citizens on Patrol program with our Citizens Academy. You can find that at miami-police.org. And also, if you're willing to help, man, we have the Miami Police Foundation.
Yeah.
At the miamipolicefoundation.org. That you can donate. That money goes directly to help the police officers. We do a lot of work outside the community,
awesome.
But the foundation takes care of the Miami police officers that take care of our community.
Love it.
So if you want to help, there's plenty of ways to help. We appreciate the love that the Miami community has for the Miami Police Department, and I promise that as long as I'm here, their safety and their well-being is going to be our top priority.
Perfect. Thank you, Chief Morales. Thank you again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.